Hello, welcome to this streaming, which is a live streaming, and I would like to welcome you in our episode of historical reflection. And you know that we have just celebrated 75th of Republic Day in India. So, going forward, I would like to discuss a very interesting subject, which is about decolonization and the heritage related thing. And to discuss this topic, we have an eminent historian from India, Mrs. and Professor Meeta Joshi. So, without wasting any further moment, I would like to welcome her. So, welcome, Meeta Joshi. How are you doing today?
Namaskar, Kanchan. I am fine. How are you?
I'm fine very much, and I'm sure that you must have seen the parade yesterday and kind of.
Definitely. It was so, vibrant and so proud to be an Indian.
Right, right. And today we have an interesting topic to discuss. This is regarding decolonization, the effect of decolonization, and of course, the heritage. We all nowadays are really speaking so profoundly, so with lot of heart and emotions. So, looking forward, I would like to ask you how much India suffered because of colonization.
India, how much India suffered, I will tell you, Kanchan. I will give you one fact figure that before Britishers came to our country contributed to the world's GDP. The contribution of India was 27% of the total world economy. And when the Britishers left our country, it came to 2%. So you can the figure is speaking itself of the fact that how India was affected by colonization. They ruined us. They tried to ruin our culture, heritage. They exploited our resources to the core. They tried to finish our handicrafts. They broke the looms of the people who did handicraft in India, the cottage industries. So if you ask about the damage, it is too much. And they owe so much to us, so much. They
So,
cannot do it
definitely,
in
yes.
this lifetime.
Mhm. So actually, I think as you have already mentioned, it was a poverty. I think the religious sentiments and religious clashes was also enhanced in during this colonization of India. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. Because see, if you see our country's history, we were under a foreign rule from a very long period of time, Kanchan. When the Muhammad Ghori came to India, and we had this battle of Haldi Ghati and Battle of Tarain. So many battles happened, and he left Kutubuddin Aibak, his Governor General, to look after the conquered parts of India and Afghanistan and the nearby places. And when Muhammad Ghori passed away, Qutbuddin Aibak, he declared himself independent and he established a new dynasty which was known as Slave Dynasty, from which Delhi Sultanate started. So Delhi Sultanate ruled from 1206 to 1526 AD, when Babur came to India with the first battle of Panipat, and Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in that first battle of Panipat, and he established the Mughal Empire. From 1526 to 1707, India was under a Mughal rule, again a foreign rule because they were Turks. And when Britishers came to India, now here is the difference, that when these two different time periods, the Delhi Sultanate, in which five different dynasties ruled, then the Mughal Empire, and then the Britishers. Now, if you compare the time period and the history of those times, then you will come to know that most damage was done by the Britishers. because Mughals, on a longer run, they became Indian. Okay, they adopted our culture. They loved being in India, and they were trying to do good things for Indians, because if you see the policies of Akbar, they were very supportive for Indians. Not only Akbar, other Mughal rulers, emperors also. But when Britishers came to India, their prime aim was to exploit our country. They exploited our country to the maximum. Resources, do you think that, as some historians they say, that because of Britishers India got a means of communication and transport? It was for their own selfish means, because they laid the railway tracks to take the iron ore from the places from where it was dug to the ports, and they imported it to they just sent it to Europe, for because industrialization was happening in Europe. That was that time period. Okay, so they exploited us. That
Mm,
postal and telegraphs, all things which were introduced by Britishers for their own selfish means. Remember this, please. So they have not benefited our country in any way. Only one benefit you can say, that the railways were introduced, the post and telegraph system was introduced. Apart from that, you tell me that what they did. India was on its peak in ancient India. People came to India for higher education, as now Indians go to America and other countries. We
mm,
had world class universities like Takshila and Nalanda in Bihar, and many Chinese pilgrims, they came to study Buddhism here. Not only Buddhism, in those universities, mathematics, phonetics, grammar, astronomy, physics, sciences, what not was taught there. And they were all high class residential universities. And what the Britishers did, they broke our educational system also, because they only wanted to produce clerks and babus to work in their offices.
mm.
Are you getting my point, Kanchan?
Yes, 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 definitely, and I can actually see some some few of the major effect in terms of religious impact on the people. Yeah, in fact, the due to divide and rule, the caste system which is being introduced, I feel, because if you go back in our antiquity, I feel that there was no caste system as such. And going forward, Professor Mita Joshi, I would like to say to all my viewers that we have an eminent historian, and if you have any questions, please put forward your question. She is available here to answer in any case, any inquiry you want to do. And we are live, as you know. So now I look forward, for all the viewers, we look forward your comments and your questions. And Professor Mita Joshi, going forward, I would like to ask you that we are actually in democracy, and a lot of princely states have already been abolished, and but still there are people who actually maybe dream, or maybe they have one psyche kind of thing, that monarchy is we had been in our history, we were ruled by monarchs. So are these monarchies still relevant in present scenario?
Not at all. I will suggest you two books, Kanchan, for the viewers also who are interested to learn more about monarchies and decolonization. One book is The Crisis of Empire, written by Martin Thomas and Bob Moore. And another book is Decolonization and Its Impact, written by Martin Shipway. So, when you will go through these two books, you will come to know that what was the course of the British colonization in Asia, Africa, and South America, and what all they did in those continents. And now the process of decolonization which happened, how much it also affected those countries who were colonized. Because the historians, they gave one theory that is known as dependency theory.
Mhm.
Because we thought that the colonizers, Great Britain, they were more powerful than us financially and otherwise also. So it looked like at some point of time that we are dependent on them. But it was other way around. They were dependent on us. Okay.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
they are extracting all the resources, coal, iron, everything from our land. They
Mhm.
are destroying, they destroyed our handicrafts, they broke the looms of the people who were doing cottage industries. Instead, they put factories there of artificial cloth, nylon and rayon, and they
Right.
so, and in very low cost they manufactured here in India, and
Mhm.
10 times more they sold in Europe.
Mhm.
So they were in a win-win situation. But what about the people of India who have suffered for almost 150 to 200 odd years under the colonial rule of Great Britain?
Mhm.
Can you see,
Right.
we should be really thankful and grateful to the
Mhm.
freedom fighters and the great leaders of those era, who at
Mhm.
least gave us a free air to breathe.
Right.
Okay, we
Mhm.
have all rights. We have right to express, we have right to choose, we have right to vote, we have freedom of expression. Way
Mhm.
back that time, just imagine that how much our common people were suppressed by the
Mhm.
Britishers.
Correct.
Yeah.
So going forward, I would also want to salute to all those freedom fighters who have devoted their life, and they have given their life for this freedom which we are enjoying at the moment. But for people who are listening, I would also want you to explain the colon and decolonization. What exactly we mean, and what are the effects if you go forward in this discussion?
See, for example, let us take the the analogy of India, because India was a British colony. So when they came and they ruled us, and after a certain point of time, when the extremist group of Congress, they started their life, making their lives difficult. Then they thought that, oh, we cannot survive here for a longer period of time, so now we have to slowly wind up and give their nation back to them and go back to Britain.
Mm.
But they already sowed the seeds of hatred by dividing the Hindu and Muslim community with the partition of Bengal in 1905, and then introducing separate Muslim electorates. They already divided us, okay, which is, you are seeing now that what is happening in our country, unfortunately. There is
Mm.
so much of hatred which is being projected by the politicians for their vote banks
Mm.
between the two communities.
Mm.
But Kanchan, let me tell you, before the Britishers came to India, in our Indian history, there is no incident which is recorded as communal rights between Hindus and Muslims.
Mm.
Aurangzeb, they say that he was a fanatic Mughal emperor, but I want to clear this myth. People hate Aurangzeb, but he was a very devout Muslim, okay, and a very simple person. He used to sit outside the masjid and sell namaji topis on a Friday, and with that money, he would sponsor the education of children, poor children, or orphan children, get poor girls married. So only drawback in Aurangzeb's personality was that he was fanatic about his own religion. But if you see him individually, he was far better than other Mughal emperors. He was a woman man.
Mhm.
Okay. So there are so many things. And when you ask me about decolonization process, it was like leaving the country and winding up their administration, and that also took us long time and struggle. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, when he established his Home Rule League along with Annie Besant, there were two Home Rule Leagues which were set up in 1916. And then Gandhiji came into picture, and slowly things went forward. Then this two nation theory, which was given by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So many things, So at the end, also, they divided us. They
Mm.
divided India into India and Pakistan because Jinnah was adamant that we want a separate Muslim state. And it is very ironic that those people were our people who went there,
Mhm.
who were living here happily
Right.
from generations to generations.
Mhm.
And if you ask me the impact of decolonization, it is, again starting from scratch. We Indians, our
Mhm.
people, had to again start from scratch.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have already discussed a monarchy is not actually suitable in current scenario, and we have actually come very far from those kind of days, those kind of systems, and we are living in democracy. We are safeguarding our rights, and we enjoy our freedom. But do you
Yeah.
feel that? Do you feel appropriate to suggest the abolish of monarchy, including British? Because nowadays, when we go, we see the world countries. Like if you see Middle East, we see monarchy in British and many other small areas of the world where monarchy is there. And if you really look into the Middle East, it is flourishing. If I am not wrong, then
See, now monarchy is not relevant in the present times, Kanchan, because
right.
if you see, there is a lot huge money involved in it, in keeping the traditions and customs, and all that money which is the monarchs are using, it is in a way public money. Okay, they are paying taxes, they are doing everything. And the same question was asked to the late Queen Elizabeth when she was there in the throne, that the British people, when Tony Blair was the prime minister, so they asked that why should we pay for their expenses?
Mm.
We are working hard, we are making our ends meet, and why should we pay for the queen's comforts and luxuries? Which was a
Mhm.
relevant question. But
Okay.
then, what was the strategy adopted by the British family? They invited BBC and they made a documentary to make themselves popular. That we
Mhm.
are doing so much, we are doing charities, we are attending so many official engagements, and we are giving our time, so we should be paid accordingly.
Mhm.
But in the present scenario, when you see now the King Charles is there in Britain, and of late in Denmark, his Queen Mary abdicated the throne in favor of her son Frederick.
Mhm.
So now these monarchs also are understanding that according to the times, they should also change their policies, their way of living, their way of functioning should change, and they should be relevant to the common public.
Right. For a message for those people who are maybe not maybe a very less percentage, but those people who maybe advocate monarchy and they dream of monarchy in certain way.
No, they let them see. Monarchy is a very fascinating thing, Kanchan, if you see it overall.
Right.
It
Right.
is all about palaces and, a very luxurious and comfortable lifestyle.
Right.
All beautiful costumes, beautiful jewelry, diamonds,
Right.
emeralds, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So people get fascinated by that show, the
Right.
pomp and show.
Mhm.
But if you go deep in their history, you will only find deceit, you will only find rivalries, you will
Mhm.
only find misunderstandings, murders, you know. So they have a very shady history that way.
Right, right. So now going forward, I would also want to request to our viewers that if you have any questions regarding this particular subject, which is about monarchies and the difference between democracy and the freedom, please come forward and you can put forward your question to our expert, Professor Meeta Joshi. She is one of the renowned historian from India. So, Professor Meeta Joshi, going forward, I would also want to, since we are talking about monarchy, so there is the Queen of Denmark that abdicate the throne for her son. How right this action was, according to you?
It was a very wise step by the queen, because she understood that she is becoming obsolete. So the son is educated, he is young, he is up with the times, present times. He would understand the country more better than her. So it was a very wise step on queen's part to give away the throne to the son.
Okay, so in a way, it is one point, I mean, one which is actually encouraging the monarchy establishment in some way.
Yeah, because see, slowly, if you observe in the world, all old orders are vanishing. So, monarchy is also an old order, but like some traditions should be preserved, because how, when our children and their children will read the history, they will come to know about it. That how it
Okay.
was and how
Mhm.
glorious it was, and what all went into being born in a royal family. So all that the generations, coming generations should know. But either they should see completely. I don't think so that we will anyone would be um, uh, anyone one would be in favor of abolishing the monarchies, because we have this relationship, you say long distance relationship with them, that we adore them in some way, about be it their lifestyle, be it their palaces, be it their extravagant cars or mansions, whatever. So people, it is a human tendency, the thing which we cannot actually achieve in our life, and if we see others enjoying it, we
Right,
feel we feel good about it. For example,
right,
the film stars. So
right,
they are
right.
like very rich, but
Mhm.
we when we look the into the lives of the Indian film stars, for example, we admire them, we adore them, we want to be like them.
Right.
This is the problem, that we don't idolize the freedom fighters, we don't idolize the poets or authors of
Mhm.
yesteryears. For example, Rabindranath Tagore, or Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or Mahatma Gandhi ji, or Jawaharlal Nehru. We never,
Right,
yeah, youth is not idolizing, right? They
right,
idolize the film stars.
right,
So
right.
you try to establish a connection in your fantasies and dreams with them.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
same way, monarchies will also survive, because the common people, they have this connection with them.
Right, right.
You know. Hmm.
Yes, we have actually grown up with listening the stories of king
True.
and queen. So definitely that will
Hmm.
remain the part of it. But on a very practical platform, I think that is kind of a age-old concept. And if it is there, if you see the history of England, the whole control is with the parliament rather than on with the king and queen. So that is
Yes.
okay. And
Hmm.
I also go with your point when you say that, yeah, too much of abolition is not possible, because that is already there in the mind of people. Now, going
Hmm.
forward, I would also want to ask you, when this whole saga of colonization is expected to end, because now I have seen many people who are actually few points they have take up, and they do a kind of imitation of Western culture and leaving our culture, and because that is kind of deep rooted in some of the people's psyche, and we follow that, and somehow, not all, but I will just somehow, few things are actually, they are, we are carrying forward of those points which are which we experience, or our fathers or grandfather experience in colonization. So how this will end, what is the means, what are the resources we should discuss, or give way to the people who come near to their heritage, their culture, which is, if you also agree that we are oldest civilization in the world, so we have to be proud about that.
Yeah, definitely, Kanchan. We are proud of our heritage
Right.
and culture and civilization, Indian civilization. But if you ask me that when they will be abolished, I don't think so. It will happen because, as I said, there is some connection between the common people and those monarchs. They relate to them. They try to fantasize their lives. So that will keep the monarchies alive. Yes,
Okay.
they will become little modern, the monarchies. They
Right.
will change with the times. As now Prince King Charles, he is after he became the king, he announced many reforms, and I think only 2 weeks before, he hosted a lunch for all the nurses and the like small workers, because he
Mhm.
wanted to honor them. So that is a good step, that you are accepting and recognizing the services of other sections of the society also. So that way he will be relevant. King Charles will be relevant. People will like him.
Mhm. Okay, the same way, if we actually talk about the colonization, because we have a long history of being a colony. So, how the effect of that colonization will end?
See, again, we are still slaves from our mind, Kanchan. We still love foreign clothes. We still love foreign accessories. Our children, they want to go to America, England, and different countries for higher education.
Right.
Though we have all the infrastructure, India has all the best infrastructure. So what is that? That is, this effect of colonization in our minds and in our subconscious mind.
Yes, and I think that is also effect of casteism, which is there in India. It is also like many of the poverty thing has been eradicated, but still we do have BPL people who are living below the poverty line. I think that is a effect of colonization. And what about the lack of education? Do you feel that there is a lack of education in India
Definitely,
currently?
definitely. If you read the one Indian economist, Professor Amartya Sen, Sen's book. So in that book, he has mentioned that according to the International Monetary Fund, anyone who is who who want to survive should earn 11 rupees, okay, for daily. But will you believe that there are 20 million people in India who sleep empty stomach? They are
Right.
not even able to earn that 11 rupees, Kanchan. Why?
Mhm.
Because of illiteracy. They are
Okay.
uneducated. They don't have the
Right.
means.
Mhm.
They don't have the means.
Okay.
So
So
still
yeah.
in India it is happening. Though
Mhm.
we say we are developing and our economy is growing fast. So if the economy is growing fast, why not the jobs are being generated? There
Right.
are many uneducated. There are many
Hmm.
educated people who are still unemployed in our country.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Now, from this, one point also come because we are on very heavily talk about the industrial destruction, which are age-old industries of India, which were destructed by Britishers. So, do you really feel that is there any possibility where we can revive them? Though I feel there are many things which are happening, but still, as a person, I feel it's lagging behind. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, and, definitely lacuna is there. There is no doubt about it. And it will take, again, the policies which are being made by the topmost people. They have to change the things so that things change in grassroots level.
Right.
Yeah, if we just follow the previous things, it is not going to bring any good to the nation.
Right.
We have to make the changes in grassroots level.
Hmm.
For
Right.
example, I will give you one example. The NEP, the new education policy, which was introduced in 2020,
Hmm.
is yeah, like it is now, people are trying to implement it. So, according to that policy, suppose I study in one university and after 1 year I feel that no, this is not the right university for me, I want to switch over.
Hmm.
So this university will transfer the credits to the new university where I am joining. So that flexibility they are giving. So
Okay.
same way they should give flexibility in education also. Uh, People should study what they want.
Hmm.
Suppose they want to do some technical course, so they should not be forced to study other subjects with it, because this is the difference between the education in the west and in India, because they specialize after high school. But
Right.
here we do graduation, we do post graduation. Okay, but still the level of efficiency is less.
Right. Right. True. So now going forward, I would also want you to actually discuss about how, as an individual, because we are a largest democracy in the world. So how
Hmm.
people individually can come out from this kind of, though many people, the young generation, they don't know about colonization and decolonization, the process. They do study in schools, but at the same time, how the people who have witnessed or who know things, they should react or they should guide the young generation.
Young generation is already very smart, Kanchan. They know what they are doing, they have clarity of thought. Only thing is, little guidance in a right direction is required. They are smart enough to choose between the things from a platter, and that's why they are not like us. Like we did whatever we were told, but they have a logic. They say, they ask questions before doing that. Will it benefit me? Why should I do? And what will be the outcome, which we never asked, you and me, in our
Right.
generation.
Okay.
So that way they are smarter. They
Mm.
only little guidance about their career if they
Mm.
get,
Mm.
then they can really do well in their lives. And we should like inspire them to do something for their
Mm.
country also, instead of going to United States of America or Canada or different countries and boost their economies. Please do something for your country also.
Right. And when you are saying that as kind of a choose a right direction, and when we see back we are, as I told you, that we come from a very oldest civilization, very rich and traditional and cultural civilization. So when you say right direction, what exactly you really mean?
Focus on what they are doing. For example, if somebody is choosing up a course, so what reason they are taking it, whether they want to become an entrepreneur, whether they do want to do a job. Okay, so all these things have to be sorted out.
Okay. So I also feel that I've done. You have to really just add on this. I really feel that they should be knowing about their past and from which civilization they have
it,
come.
it is very important, because see, history is something which you should always know, and you learn from it, because it teaches you, it makes you wiser a human being, it gives you perspectives for life. It is like this: suppose on a given day I get up and I don't remember that who I am, I forget my name, I forget the names of people around me, so my identity is lost. Same
Correct.
way, when you study your heritage, your past, you are connected,
Right.
and that way you carry so many things forward, and you
Hmm.
become more wiser in
Right.
taking decisions. That's why they say history repeats itself for those
Mhm.
who don't take a lesson from it.
Right. So it was a wonderful discussion, Professor Mita Joshi, and we will be meeting again with more lively and thoughtful topics. But for today, I just want to extend my thanks for your availability and this live streaming, and look forward again. Thanks for being a part of this discussion.
My pleasure, Kanchan.
Okay, so we had been discussing about decolonization, the heritage. We have discussed and number of topics. I look forward. In case if you are not able to comment, you can comment later. We have our expert. They will be very pleased to answer if you have any confusion or any kind of clarity you are looking at. So all the best, and Mita Joshi, namaste. See you again in the next episode. Bye bye.
Thank you.